At the time of the production Band of Brothers, so many of the guys are still alive, and they were able to do those pre-episode interviews, which for a lot of historians, that was one of our favorite parts of the episode. I love opening up. And
Yep.
when you first watch the series, you might get annoyed that they don't put the little name down there, but if you watch that series enough, you get to know there's Malarkey, there's Shifty Powers, and you can, and to this day, I see the photos of guys, I know who they are. You said earlier, because you had started going to the reunions at such a young age, what was it like for you by the time that miniseries came out to see these guys that you've just known forever, whether they had the generic nickname of uncle or a friend of my dad's? What was it like to see them doing these pre-episode interviews when that series came out?
Well, that was like you said, that was my favorite too, was to hear it in their own voices. The actors all did a spectacular job. They did an amazing job. And, kind of growing up around those guys and, and knowing them all very well. And when my dad was killed, I got to really connect with them at a different level. I wasn't Luz, but I was Luz's kid. And, it really chokes you up now, especially now that they're all gone. Fortunately enough, those kids were still connected, whether it's the Compton kids, the Carsons, the Langlois, Chris Langlois, the Gordons, the Garniers, and on and on and on. And so it's good that we're able to kind of stay connected. Actually, before I was kind of getting set up, I had the tape of Walter Gordon being interviewed by Stephen Ambrose as they were leading up to writing the book.
Wow.
What Ambrose did was he got together with several of the men and did interviews with them because they lived in actually the same community. So I listened to that, and I'm sure it's great for you too, Henry. Is you've got tape on your dad. I was watching some of it this past week. You've got tape of your dad talking, and that's got to be very comforting.
It is, yeah, George. It is.
Not to mention his mother in the director's cut of the Pacific.
Oh yeah, man, that's a tough one right now. It's hard for me to hear her voice right now.
Yeah, but you'll be glad it's there 10, 15 years from
now.
Oh,
yeah. No, I know.
And not to mention Henry's beautiful head of hair back then, too. I mean, in that video, his hair was on point.
Oh, he had to throw that in there.
Well, we were all different. Mine is so gray.
Nah.
I started going gray at 16. Don't even worry about
it. Yeah.
Well,
but speaking of your mom,
yeah,
I want to read one thing about your mom. Well, I could read more, but I'd like to just read this because she's talking about your dad. And she says he had been through the worst that life could have thrown at him, and he knew that he was able to stand up to it. Which, when I heard her say that, I had to write it down because it was just, it was a great quote from your mom.
Wow, man, no, that's powerful. I remember her saying that.
Yeah.
But did you? When were your parents married, George? I mean, were they? So, like, my mom and dad got married in 1952.
Okay.
So when my dad was going through, and I was born in '65, so when Dad was going through all that, he and my mom didn't even know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they got married in 1952. So for you, were your parents? Did they get married pretty soon after the war? How did that shake out?
Yeah, because I was born in '56, so I think that they were born in. I think that they got married in either '57 or '58.
Okay.
Because my brother is 8 years older, so yeah, 57 or 58. No, sorry, no, 47 or 48.
Okay.
47 or 48. Now, we lived in a community, and so my dad's good buddy, sister. Now, so everything is so close, but my dad's good buddy, Tony, his sister ended up being my dad's wife, Dell.
Okay.
Back in the day, my mom's family had 12 brothers and sisters, and my and my
Catholic, were they?
father's side had 10. So they had a bunch of them. They were Portuguese. So
Yeah.
and I guess they had a lot of kids. But yeah, so they got married in 47, 48, somewhere in that range, because I was born in 56.
Okay, well, so you're the same age as my brother.
Okay.
My brother came along in 57.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So
it's amazing how old we are.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. You know, I say to myself, am I really 66? I don't feel 60. Well, some days I feel 66.
Yeah.
After working out at the ranch today, you know, I feel a little 56, 66. But yeah, that quote, you know, I've been watching some stuff, you know, on your dad and your mom, and that little piece there that HBO did was great. Let me tell you a quick story, if I may.
Please. Have at it.
So anyway, so here we go. It's the premiere of the Pacific is coming to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So my buddy Tim Gray from the World War II Fund.
Yeah, Tim Gray.
Hey, can you get any tickets for that? And I said, sure. So anyway, so I called Marav Brooks, and I said, hey, Marav, could you get a couple tickets for us to go to that? And she said, yeah, that would be fine. And, you know, what's the names and all that stuff. So she does all of that. And so we end up getting a chance to go there. And Bruce McKenna was there also.
Yeah, my buddy Bruce.
Yeah, so I told a friend of mine, I said, hey, get in touch with Bruce and just tell him I'm going to be there, blah, blah, blah. So we were able to get together and see Bruce. And then he brought us in to hang out with Tom. Mm-hmm. Kurt Sandusky was there. So Bruce is being interviewed, and Bruce is being interviewed by the TV, and I'm just kind of standing in his sight line. So I'm figuring, okay, when he's done, if he looks up, he sees me, he came over, we chit-chatted. I said, hey, man, I'm sure you're as busy as can be. And so afterwards, we're standing downstairs looking around, and then he comes running down the stairs at the Kennedy Library and gives us the universal signal to come this way. Mm-hmm. So we start following him up the stairs. We go up the stairs, around the corner, down the hall, and boom, and then we're in Tom's room. So I got a chance to see Kurt Sandusky, and got a chance to hang out a little bit with Tom. But the interesting thing was there was this Pacific veteran. His name was Joe Drago, and he was sitting right next to us, my wife and I. So we got a chance to watch it with him. And every week after that, I would call him up on like the Monday, and we would just talk about the episode. Because he was, Pacific vet, and he was, in a lot of the same places your dad was. And I would ask him just different stories about that, this and that. And the funniest story was, I guess there was a gunny sergeant who was walking along. It started raining, and then he pulled a bar of soap out. And I said,
Gunny Sergeant Haney.
The health of the Corps is only as strong as the health of the individual Marine.